My friend in STEM, how's it going? In this episode, my friend Vimal just proves that if you have a will, you have a way. He showed us that working in the US can not only be a dream, but it can be reality. We talk about how he came all the way from India to the US and broke into the world of biotech. If you've ever wondered or longed for working in the US but don't know where to start, this episode is for you. Buckle up, tune in, and also don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you in the episode. Hi, Vimal.
Hello,
Welcome to my living room.
thank you. Happy to be here. First time. I really like the whole setup.
Oh, thank you. I try to be as aesthetic as I can, so I'm glad that you like it. But we've talked about like on the side, we chit-chatted, we talked about your journey, and I'm so excited for everyone to hear this because I'm sure like so many people are going to resonate with you and learn a little bit from your journey. So let's get started.
Perfect.
We talked on the side and you told me that you grew up in India.
Yes, I did.
Now you're in America, in Boston. So when you were in India, did you imagine what your career would look like?
To be honest, not really. Like, I never saw myself as like a working job. My family comes from like business background, so
Okay.
growing up, like I never imagined. It's like it just like played out on its own. Like, yeah,
Oh,
I
wow.
never, yeah.
From business to STEM.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, so did you think you were going to work in the US or did you always think that I was going to be a part of the family business?
Like during the initial stages of like when I was doing my undergrad, I decided to come to US like on like my very final year of
Mm-hmm.
my undergrad, like back in Mumbai.
Mm-hmm.
And then yeah, like a lot of my friends they were living for US doing that, master's degree.
Mm-hmm.
So then yeah, at that point I decided, like why not give it
Mm-hmm.
a try? Like, I'll get a good exposure
Yeah.
because like if I had like stayed back, like it would be in like a very restricted
Mm-hmm.
environment, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's been a really good journey so far.
Yeah.
I'm liking it.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
that. Excited to dive deeper. So you said you did your undergrad in Mumbai.
Yes,
What was
yes.
your undergrad in?
I did it in mechanical engineering.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Wow.
now yeah, we are in
Like
biotech.
what? It's
Yeah.
still STEM,
Yeah.
science, technology, engineering,
Yeah.
math. It's all the same.
Sure.
I I don't know if I could say that, but to me, it's science.
Yeah, true.
So did you feel like mechanical engineer was something you've always wanted to do?
Oh yeah. So like growing up, like I have seen like my dad's side of the business is like like majority of it is like related to like mechanical engineering, so
Mm-hmm.
that's why I wanted to do it.
Oh.
And yeah, I was like very big into cars, so that's what I studied, like designing and manufacturing. And like when I was like doing my undergrad back in Mumbai, like I was also involved in like some projects related to car, like Baha,
Mm-hmm.
creating cars, going for like competitions. So yeah,
Wow.
yeah, it was
That's
really
I never
fun.
knew that.
Yeah.
That's so fun.
Yeah, I worked on like a car. Yeah,
Wow. And what
a
was that
go-kart.
like? Like when you said working on those cars,
Like actually make the car,
building?
build it. Yeah,
What?
yeah, yeah. It was a very cool, fun project to work on.
Wow. Wow. And
Yeah,
now you're in biotech
yeah,
working.
making medicines. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would have never imagined like growing up, like bio was my least favorite subject. I used to hate it.
Really?
Yeah, the last bio class I took was in like high school.
No
And
way.
now, yeah, I am in research deep dive. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Where life takes you.
I
You
know.
never know. It has
Yeah,
curveballs. It just
yeah,
throws one after
true.
the other. It's so crazy.
Yep.
So you said you did your grad school here in the US.
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit about the transition between going from like India, being in India with your family business, all the way to like in the US?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So like I did my undergrad in mechanical engineering. Like during the like final like last semester of my undergrad, like I started preparing for US.
Okay.
So there are like some qualification exams you have to give
Okay.
before you come to, so like GRE. Have you
GRE,
heard of a
yeah,
GRE?
I
Yeah.
did my GRE, yeah.
Yeah, so we had to do GRE, and then we also have to take another test called TOEFL. It's
Is it
like
for
a
the English?
English,
Yeah, I
yeah.
took the IELTS one.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
either
it's
it's
yeah.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
TOEFL or IELTS. So I had to do that one. So yeah, so like I took a break actually, like after my undergrad for a year
Mm-hmm.
to figure out like what I really want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, so and at that time like I was also preparing for coming to US
Mm-hmm.
just for as a safety options.
Yeah.
I was also trying to get some internship while I was like trying to prepare.
In the US?
Oh no, back in
Back
India.
in India.
Yeah,
Okay,
like I
okay.
had like a 1 year off,
Okay, okay,
so
wow.
at that time. But yeah, it's like a tough market to get into, especially when it comes to like mechanical engineering.
Mm,
I went through a consultancy back in Mumbai,
okay,
so yeah, they really helped me with all my applications and stuff.
okay.
Then
Did sorry to cut
yeah,
you
yeah.
off, but did they help you apply to universities or did they help you with the paperwork?
Mostly with the paperwork.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
And did you start your paperwork before you started applying to universities or was it like together?
Yeah, I would say together,
Okay.
like you have to get like recommendation letters.
Mm,
In US, it's like GPA based, like out of four, but like in
okay.
India, it's like a different grading system. So then you have to also get all your transcript converted as
Mm-hmm.
compared to like,
Yeah.
what US has. They really helped me with all those, like, getting my transcripts
Yeah.
and all those things. Yeah.
Okay, wow.
Yeah.
And then you got your acceptance,
Mm-hmm.
you got your paperwork, you
Yes.
got your student visa, and you're on your way to the US.
Yeah.
For your grad school, was it also in mechanical
Yes,
engineering?
yes. I did my master's in mechanical engineering, so that was heavily focused on manufacturing
Mm-hmm.
and designing. So doing like thermal analysis, yeah, CEA work and all
Okay.
those kind of. So it was, yeah, totally focused on manufacturing, then doing some of like designing work. So
Mm-hmm.
I learned a lot of like designing softwares,
Okay.
which I had no experience before
Yeah.
when I was doing my undergrad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And did you have like hands-on experience during that time, or is it just like this is a project, do it?
For my master's degree, especially, like I didn't have any hands-off experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but like at the same time, like I was applying for like internship when I was doing my master's.
Okay.
But since I was on a visa, like F1, and my school, like my grad school, they had like a very strict timeline on when you can apply for internship. And I
Mm.
did got internship twice,
Oh wow.
but I couldn't join because my paperwork didn't get filed in the right time. So
No.
yeah, I got offer from same company twice, like consecutive semester, and yeah, I couldn't join it.
Whoa. And
Yep.
wow, and it was it within like the mechanical
Yes, it
engineering?
was like mechanical engineering. It was like for a car manufacturing
Okay.
company.
Did you ever end up going there or?
No, yeah, unfortunately, I couldn't join them because of my yeah visa status. Yeah.
I'm so sorry. But everything happens for a
Yeah,
reason, right?
exactly. Now I think about it, if I had like gotten that job, most likely I would have stayed there for
Mm-hmm.
like, after internship, maybe get converted to full
Yeah.
time and I would have stayed there.
Yeah.
But now look at it. Yeah,
Wow.
everything, yeah.
Wow.
I feel like everything happens for a reason.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
That's true. Wow. And so after you graduated from your grad school, you weren't able to get an internship.
Yeah, I mean, after graduation, then for graduate students,
Mm-hmm.
like people who are on F1 visa,
Yeah.
so what happened is like after you graduate, you are on like OPT,
Mm-hmm.
which is for 1 year.
Okay.
And then if you find a job within that 1 year, you
Okay.
can apply for extension like STEM OPT,
Yeah.
which gives you another couple of years. Like after graduation, you get like 3 years in total.
Okay.
And in those 3 years, your company has to sponsor you for H1B visa.
Okay.
So you get like three chances in those like three OPT years
Okay.
to apply for H1B,
H1B.
which will give you another 6 years
Okay.
of
Okay.
like working visa. And then in those 6 years you can figure out what you want to do in future. Like you can like apply for your company can sponsor you
Mm-hmm.
to apply for a green card.
Yeah.
Or like if you are doing some like extraordinary work, now they have I think come up with like EB1, NIW EB1 green card application
Okay.
where you don't need sponsorship anymore. Like you
Wow.
can sponsor yourself basically if you are like, if you can showcase that the work you are doing in the industries, it's like
Life
life
changing.
changing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you'll get like a very good
Yeah.
breakthrough and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
I also heard like if you have published so many papers and
Yes,
you've contributed so much,
yes.
you'll also get a green card because you're like moving the needle in science and are
Yes,
making a
yes,
difference.
yes. Even in mechanical engineering, like don't really have papers like
Uh-huh.
as we have in like biotech industry. So in mechanical, yeah, engineering, like if you are like working on electric cars, like
Mm-hmm.
semiconductors,
Yeah.
those are considered as like extraordinary field.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you'll get a green card easily?
It's
Like
still,
easy compared to
yeah,
other
yeah,
yeah
still, yeah, it's a long
process.
journey.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I agree. And so for the H1B
Yeah.
process, do you feel like companies are sort of they hide away or they like run away if they know you have that kind of visa because they don't want to sponsor you?
Yes, most of the time, yeah. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, then it also depend on like company's budget
Mm-hmm.
if they are willingly to spend extra,
Okay.
because it's, yeah, it's like a expensive process and
Okay.
there's like a lot of paperwork involved.
Okay.
So like not many company want to get involved in that, and especially like when it comes to biotech, like especially in Boston, like most of the biotech company are in like very early stages. So
Mm-hmm.
like they don't have the all the departments set up when they are in like,
Yeah.
if they are in like stealth mode. Or during like last year when I was like looking for a job, like I was getting very good reach outs, but then most of them were in like very early stages,
Yeah.
and unfortunately they didn't have any like lawyer team in their
Mm-hmm.
department, so
Yeah.
they couldn't do the paperwork even if they wanted to.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah,
Early stage companies they either don't have the money for it
yeah,
or don't have the resources
resources, yeah,
or people that can help
exactly,
because it makes one your life hard and then the
yeah,
company's life hard if they don't
exactly,
have the right people to
yeah,
make that process happen and
yeah,
sort of work on that process
yeah,
as well,
yeah,
which I agree 100%.
yeah,
um it really depends on, I think, right timing on when they
yeah,
have
yeah,
like once all of these things are aligned,
yeah,
then like, oh yeah, I'm lucky.
yeah,
I came in at the right time.
yeah, true.
I agree. So let's hop into more on your career journey.
Okay.
So you graduated with your master's.
Yes.
What did you do next?
Then yeah, so even after graduation, it's like a not it wasn't an easy journey. So when you are like on STEM OPT, like you have like 180 days to like
Mm-hmm.
find a job for yourself. Otherwise, yeah, you have to like go back.
Wow.
Like other option you can consider is like work under professor like from your like school
Academic. Okay.
academic. You
Yeah.
can take like some academic project, work
Mm-hmm.
on it, and then your professors and do the paperwork for you like your
Okay.
STEM,
So that gives you more
more
time.
time to look for new
And would you do
opportunities.
that at the same time looking for a job?
Job, yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yeah. So that's what I did. Like after graduation, like I was working under a professor. Like I was mostly working on like designing projects.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so that gave me a good amount of time to to look out for good opportunities.
Mm.
So yeah, so this was in Michigan. I went to school in Michigan,
Okay.
and then after graduation, within like 3 to 4 months after my graduation, like I got a job in Pennsylvania.
Okay. Wow.
So I had to move from Michigan to Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, that job I got was in like a medical device company, a
Okay.
Thermo Fisher.
Thermo
Yeah.
Fisher. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was like a clean room, GMP environment kind of
Oh.
work. So like a totally new experience for
Yeah.
me,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because like most of the what I was used to, or like what I had in mind was like, if I was in mechanical engineering like jobs, I would be by the desk on the computer like
Mm-hmm.
designing software, and
Mm-hmm.
then completely shift of environment
Yeah.
coming to like a GMP
You had to wear the
environment.
scrubs, the shoes, the
Exactly.
hairnet.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
was like a very totally new experience for me. Like,
Uh-huh.
yeah, I didn't like I had no knowledge of that side of the world,
Mm-hmm.
like the
Wow.
GMP
Yeah.
environment.
Yeah, because it's
And
completely different. Because like
yeah,
you're used to building a
get your hand
software, or at least
dirty,
yeah,
yeah,
you
and
create
stuff
like you
like
helped
that.
create a car
Yeah, yeah,
when you were in
exactly.
Mumbai, so it's completely different. Like
Yeah,
get your hands dirty. Like I
yeah.
imagine you. Maybe that's just me being naive, but imagine you like when you take your car to fix it, and then you're under the car like fixing it with
Yeah.
your like. That's how I imagine mechanical
Mm-hmm.
engineers.
Yeah, no.
But so for getting that first job, what did you have on your resume that made them say yes to you?
I mean, so that job, like at Thermo Fisher, it was more of like entry level
Mm-hmm.
position. So like they were not looking for someone who has like prior experience. All they were like looking for somebody who can come in, have like is open to learn new things, adapt to like,
Mm-hmm.
when I was interviewing for that position, what I was told that there are chances I would be like moved around different departments. So I
Mm-hmm.
have to be like very flexible
Mm-hmm.
with it, and then open to learn new things. So yeah, I mean, I was like, that sound really interested to me. And to be honest, I didn't really have any other options at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the only options. And then I was also on like clock, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah, you had a ticking time bomb, so you
Yes,
just had to pick whoever said yes to you.
yeah, at that time. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it turned out like really well for me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And that's your first taste of like the biotech manufacturing world,
Yes,
being in
yes,
thermal.
yes.
So after that, what was your next step from there?
So basically, that position was like a contract position. It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't a full time, and it was like set amount of months that
Okay.
I was allowed to work.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so even like when I was working at Thermo Fisher, I was like still looking for like new opportunities,
Mm-hmm.
like a stable
Yeah.
opportunity, I would say.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was like constantly applying, and unfortunately, it was like a peak COVID time
Ah,
at that around, yeah, when
everyone
I,
has a COVID story.
yeah, true. Like when I graduated, it was like peak COVID. So like there were
Wow.
like very less opportunities out there.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't pick what I wanted at
Yeah.
that time. I
Mm-hmm.
just want, like, I kind of had to go at what was given, like thrown at me.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So yeah, I picked that options. And then when I got the job at Thermo, I moved to Pennsylvania. I got the job. Then like I was like looking for new opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, Moderna
Mm-hmm.
came around, like
Mm-hmm.
a recruiter reached out
Yeah.
to me on the LinkedIn, because like I had like a GMP environment. I guess
Mm-hmm.
that really helped me. And I also
Yeah.
came from like manufacturing background, which was a plus point, because they were looking for somebody who has like GMP manufacturing background and who can do like some of like development work. And
Mm-hmm.
since like I come from, like, I did my master's, which was heavily focused on like manufacturing process development,
Yeah.
so I think that really helped. I got a interview from Moderna, and it went really quick because it was peak COVID, so they were like doing mass hiring at that time,
Mm-hmm.
and they wanted to someone who can join as soon as
Was
possible.
it for the COVID vaccine?
Yes,
Oh,
yes,
wow. Okay,
yes.
nice.
So I was like working on manufacturing of mRNA for like COVID vaccine at
Okay.
Moderna. So yeah, like interviews and everything went really fast. Like I got offer within like couple of weeks.
Oh,
So which
wow.
was very helpful, to make decision. And
Yeah.
yeah. And luckily, like I was on contract, so like they didn't really have that the 2 week notice period.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like I
Yeah.
could, yeah.
You could just jump right in.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
wow. And for that, so you went completely different, like mechanical engineer, manufacturing, GMP setting,
Yeah,
where all they needed from you is to do the work. They don't care if you
exactly.
have any background to
Yeah.
whatever it is. And then you went to a manufacturing world where you were specifically more working on the mRNA. Did
Yes.
you know anything about
No, I
mRNA?
had like zero knowledge about the process. Yeah. I just went in like with my eyes closed. I'm like, okay, this is, yeah. I was not gonna lie, I was like very nervous
Yeah,
when I like accepted the order, accepted the offer.
yeah.
I didn't know what I'm walking myself into.
Wow.
Yeah, basically.
And was it what? Well, you didn't expect anything, but when you walked in, like, what was your first thought? You're like, what? What?
Yeah, at Thermo Fisher,
Mhm.
even though it was like in GNB environment, it
Mhm.
was still like slightly related to what I had studied.
Okay.
But in Moderna, it was like a totally different world,
It was
like
more biology based.
biology
Mhm.
based,
Mhm.
like it was a different level of like clean room environment,
Mhm.
GMP. Like you have to like fully gown in, as compared to like thermo, it was like not that heavily
Oh
focused.
wow.
Yeah. So yeah, like it took me a while to get, learn new process. Like
Mhm.
I would say about like initial 4 to 6 months, I spent my time, reading papers,
Wow.
getting used to the process of like manufacturing
Yeah.
mRNA,
Yeah.
because yeah, like I had like zero knowledge
Wow.
of the
Yeah.
process. And most of the stuff I learned, to be honest, not by reading paper, but like actually working on the process.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And the good thing about like when you are like working in GMP environment is like before you sign up on any paperwork, you have to get certified. You have to train on like certain
Ah.
part of the process.
Mhm.
So which is really helpful for
Yeah.
you to get familiarized with all the process
Mhm.
before you actually start working on it.
Wow.
So
Okay.
yeah, so like initial couple of months, I spent time getting training on the
Mhm.
whole process,
Mhm.
getting certified by all the they have like a certified teacher like
Yeah.
who comes into like GMP suite, and they will train you and
Oh
everything.
wow.
Yeah, so I learned everything on the job,
On the job.
about
Wow.
everything related to bioprocess.
And is that where your interest in mRNA started?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, so like no prior knowledge. Then when I like started to learn about the science
Mm-hmm.
behind like how the whole process work,
Yeah.
which was like very interesting because every day is like a new situation,
Yeah.
a new problem which
Mm-hmm.
you have to tackle,
Yeah.
and it's like a not repeating step. Like
Mm-hmm.
when you see like if it's like comes from
Yeah.
mechanical background. So yeah, every day like new stuff, new problem, figure out what went wrong,
Mm-hmm.
troubleshoot,
Yeah.
and all
But
those
it's more on a larger scale
larger scale.
because
Yeah.
it's more
Yeah,
manufacturing.
because we were doing like commercial manufacturing
Mm-hmm.
of COVID vaccines, so we were like working in like liters of batches. So it
Mm-hmm.
was like very large scale environment.
Okay,
Yeah.
wow, wow. And then from there, you went into research.
Yes, yes.
What made you go into research?
So the thing is about like manufacturing during the early stages, like when you get into manufacturing, like there are a lot of stuff to learn, but after a certain point, it get plateau. Like there's not really new thing you will learn out of
Mm-hmm.
the process because most of the time it's like repetitive process.
Yeah.
So then once I had like very good understanding of the process, I wanted to, learn about more on like how can you improve the process,
The
which
behind the
behind the
scenes.
scene
Yeah.
of how that process was created.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like really intrigued by, yeah, like what we were doing. So I wanted to learn more about it.
Mm-hmm.
So then, yeah, after like staying in like that field for about like 15 months, like working on manufacturing,
Yeah.
I thought I have now like good understanding of the process. I think I can go to next level. So
Mm-hmm.
at that point, like I started looking out for new opportunities. Then like I interviewed with like couple of companies. Most of them were like related to like research.
Yeah.
Then again, a very big step. When the Tome Bioscience came around, it was like heavily focused on research and like in my team, like I was the first person in the mRNA team when I joined the company.
Wow.
So yeah, again, like very big step.
Mm-hmm.
And I never done research before.
Yeah.
So yeah, again, very nervous. I had like same thinking mechanism. Like when I accept the offer at Moderna, I'm like, okay, I'm just going in, closing my
Yeah.
eyes, like learning everything on the job. So that's how when I got the opportunity at Tome Bioscience,
For the
like
research.
yeah,
Yeah.
for the research, which I've never done it before.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, let's do it.
It
Like,
worked the first time. It's
yeah,
gonna work
yeah,
the
it's
second
yeah.
time.
I
Yeah.
mean, if you have like if you are like open to learn new things, I
Mm-hmm.
think regardless if you have prior knowledge about the subject or
Yeah.
no, if you are willingly
Yeah.
do put yourself out there, I think you
Mm-hmm.
can like do it. Like, yeah,
Yeah. I feel like so many people that like talk to me, they're like, "Oh, I don't know if I'm like good enough for that position."
yeah,
And or I don't know if I have the skill set for that position. But in your case, you're like, I don't know if I have it. If I don't know if I don't, I'm just gonna apply. If I
yeah,
get it, I'm like,
yeah.
I'll just figure it out as I go.
I mean, what's gonna happen? They are going to fire me. It's
Yeah.
fine. I'll look for a new
New
job.
job.
Yeah,
Something I might be more qualified.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
No, I love that. I love that because like it's a different mindset to be like, yeah, okay, I have the passion to learn
yeah.
and I know I'm gonna learn.
Exactly.
Just say yes to me
Yeah,
and I'll do the
yeah,
work.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that.
And one thing I would like to add is like I got lucky in like both the cases. Like the manager I
Mm-hmm.
had, they were like really supportive.
Yeah.
So like yeah, like whatever questions I had or like whatever I need help with, if anything, if it's like related to the process or personal life, they were like always helpful.
Mm-hmm.
And like they always went out of their way, to guide me
Yeah.
and like, what step I should take
Yeah.
next. So yeah, that really helped me a lot.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
so important having a good manager
Yeah.
because if you have one, it can make or break your career.
Yes.
Because like having a good manager and when you're interviewing, like knowing the right questions to ask your
Yes.
manager
Yeah.
to see if you're gonna be a good fit or not
Yeah.
is
That's
really,
really
really, really
helpful. Yeah.
important. Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Yeah, especially when it comes to research, like because you'll be always like it will be in like constant communication with them.
Mm-hmm.
I would say like the working style of your manager will most likely dictate on how you're going to do in the career. I would
Mm-hmm.
say like
Mm-hmm. I
if
agree.
they trust in what your capabilities are,
Mm-hmm.
basically, if they
Yeah.
have your back or not.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
That's 100%
Yeah.
true. So during your time in Tome, there was a little bit of a hiccup,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Um, do you want to briefly talk about it?
Yeah, I mean, everybody working in biotech,
Knows the feeling.
yeah, no,
Mm-hmm.
they must, yeah. Like, I feel like everybody in biotech must have gone through that phase,
Yeah.
like one time, at least one time in their
Yeah.
life. Like, layoff is
Mm-hmm.
biotech,
Mm-hmm.
money comes in,
Yeah.
goes out
It's really
sometimes.
it's it's a volatile
Yeah.
career to
S-
go into.
Especially like early stage biotech
Mm-hmm. Early
companies,
stage
yeah,
biotech,
when they are like
exactly.
still trying to figure out like what they are actually
Mm-hmm.
doing,
Yeah.
and yeah,
Yeah, I agree.
yeah,
So during that
definitely,
layoff time, I know as an international student, it could be so stressful compared to like a person who has a citizenship.
yeah.
So what was the first step you took after finding out the big news that you were like laid off? Which I'm so sorry about that happened.
Yeah. So like I don't know if it's like fortunate or unfortunate. Like I had like vacation plans for like Europe. So like right before the
Yeah.
week I was supposed to go for my vacation, like I find out that the company is like dissolving.
Yeah.
It was like very last chase. Like I
Mm-hmm.
couldn't cancel my like all the bookings I did for
Yeah.
my like vacation. So I'm like, okay, this will be really helpful for
Mm-hmm.
me, like to
Mental
get
health wise,
mental
yeah.
health wise, like
Mm-hmm.
take a break, just have a good time, not try not to think about it, even
Mm-hmm.
though yeah, most half of my brain was like, oh, now I have to figure it out. So when I got like laid off, like I was on H1B visa.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing with H1B visa is like you can stay unemployed only for like 60 days.
Okay.
So then I had to figure something out really quick. Luckily, I was getting very like good amount of reach out,
Mm-hmm.
so I knew something will work out definitely. So
Mm-hmm.
I was, trying not to panic,
Yeah.
trying to keep myself together.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like in the end, like everything worked out. Like I had like couple of interviews. I was able to get a job within
Mm-hmm.
60 days. Like
Wow.
I was like right on the edge. Like I only had like 10 days left on my
Yeah. I feel like
unemployment.
that's what happens. Like life is so funny
Yeah,
that it's gonna wait till like the very end for you to
yeah,
get the job.
yeah,
And it's just like life. And
yeah,
it's like it's not our timing, it's whatever.
yeah.
So which is super
Yeah,
funny to
and you
have.
you just need to walk around it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess.
And for that, was it like another like research job? Is it like the job you're in right now?
Yeah, it's also a research job, like about what I was working at my last job, like
Okay.
almost around the same or
Mm-hmm.
what I'm doing right
Mm-hmm.
now.
And I did want to touch upon the difference between like the manufacturing job that you had and the
Yeah,
research
yeah.
job. What's one characteristic you carried from your manufacturing job to your research job?
I would say in research, like I
Mm-hmm.
was involved in like process development.
Mm-hmm.
So since I already had like that manufacturing experience, like the how when you scale up any process, how that process going to look like. So that knowledge really helped me like when I was like developing the method for mRNA manufacturing
Yeah.
for my research job in future when we are going to scale up the process which I'm working on right now,
Mm-hmm.
how is going to look like, and like what all parameters or like conditions or working environment I should keep in mind while
Mm.
I'm like developing that
Mm-hmm.
process. So
Yeah.
that really helped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The reason why I asked this question is because I just want to highlight that you started off with something that has nothing to do
Yeah.
with anything, and then you went to your second job which is also like 50-50.
Yeah.
And some people might look at it and be like, that's just going to be a waste of time for me, like
Yeah.
how am I ever going to get to where I want to be? But I just wanted to highlight the fact that you might not start where you want to be,
Exactly.
but every place you're gonna be, you're
Yeah.
gonna learn one thing,
Yeah.
you're gonna have a skill, which eventually you're gonna be able to
Yeah.
use in wherever you wanna
Yeah.
be.
Yeah. No.
So you're a true testament that that works and that
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
happens, which I love to hear.
Yeah,
I love to
yeah.
hear.
I feel like whenever certain opportunities comes at you, like
Mhm.
I always think about like not letting it go. Like
Mhm.
I always try to give my best. If it works out, great. If
Great.
it's
Yeah.
not, it's just like you learn from that experience.
Mhm.
That's how I look
Yeah.
at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. I have one question that's maybe a little bit deep.
Okay.
So, what scares you most about your career?
I would say the uncertainty. Like you
Mhm.
don't really know when is the end. Like
Mhm.
from my last job, like even though like we were doing very good as a company, like I didn't really expect it end like that. Like it
Yeah.
was like a completely shocker for me. Working in biotech, I would say you will always have that uncertainty.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially like for like early stage biotechs, I
Yeah.
would say.
I feel like back like 10 years ago or maybe a little bit longer, if you would have told me like, "Oh, if you work for big pharma, you'll be so stable in your career." But I feel like now
Now, yeah,
it's not that
not the case
case
anymore. Yeah.
because there's so much that's happening, so much going on,
Yeah.
so much money being thrown at different
Yes.
areas, and because we have such a vast like plethora of
Yeah.
technology that people are just like, oh, we want to work on, or investors like, we want to work on this,
Yeah.
but like, oh, we saw this data, this is way better. So it doesn't now really matter the size of the company.
No.
It just matters, like, I think your luck
Yeah.
and the timing.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
that really plays a role
Yeah.
also, which doesn't help with people who like are not good with uncertainty.
Yeah.
But I do want to just preface that yes, biotech, there's layoffs, there's whatever, but with every career,
Exactly.
there are
Yeah.
layoffs. With every career, you have your ups and downs.
Downs. Yeah.
And it's like the stock market.
Yeah.
One day it's going to be up,
Yeah.
you're going to make a lot of money, and then the next
Next
day,
day, yeah. You don't
you're
know
going to
where you
either
are.
lose it
Yeah.
or not, depending on where you are or what you've
Yeah.
invested in.
Exactly. It's like same thing. Like you'll always have uncertainty no matter where you go, which field you work
Yeah.
in. So like that shouldn't stop you, for going in that direction. Like it will be always be there. Life is always like ups and down.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
that's not in your control.
Yeah.
Like you can control where you want to go. So like go for it. I would say like don't think of that uncertainty should like stop you from proceeding in that career.
Yeah.
Also, like as compared to like big pharma, like I really like to work in like startup company
Yeah.
because then you really get to know the people you are working with, and you have like very good understanding of people working in different background like departments.
Yeah. You're more involved.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And yeah, you feel like you are connected, you're part of something,
Yeah.
which is like not the case when it comes to like big pharma.
pharma.
You feel like a little bit isolated.
Yeah, I agree. And I feel like the pace at which you learn
Yeah,
and you like learn different skills is so much faster
yeah,
than big pharma. Because big pharma,
Yeah.
you have this project, you keep
Yeah.
on doing that project.
exactly.
You really don't have a lot of opportunities to like go and try different
Yeah.
things. But for like startup, you get to do everything.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's the reason why like I wanted to go in research, because like when I was like working in manufacturing field, like I was only doing things related to the process, like manufacturing process. Like I was not getting inside of like analytical works or like quality department works. Then when I got into like research, I got exposure to like I was like analyzing my old samples, doing
Yeah.
like data analysis. So yeah, you get to learn a bit from like every department, and I would say the learning curve is like a very steep curve
Yeah.
when it comes to like small early stages biotech.
Yeah. And so, do you want to go back to mechanical engineering or do you love where you are now?
To be honest, I don't really know answer to that question. Like right now, I'm really enjoying
Yeah.
my life in biotech. I think for at least next couple of years,
Yeah.
I want to keep doing this,
Yeah, I
and
love
then we
that.
will see how future
Oh,
takes us. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. It's just like it's so nice to see how you think you want one thing,
Yeah.
and then life gets in the
Yeah,
way, and then
exactly.
you do something else. You're like, wait a minute, this
Yeah.
this is cool, this is awesome. Like
Yeah.
I vibe with that,
Yeah.
which is pretty
Yeah.
awesome.
And the project which I'm working right now with my new company is like really interesting and cool. Something I never got chance before to work
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
So I feel like I'll get like very good opportunities to learn something which I had like no experience before. So like I'm really looking forward to it.
Wow,
Yeah.
so exciting! I'm
Yeah.
so excited for you,
Thank you.
and see
Thank
how
you.
far you'll
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Because
Definitely.
it doesn't matter where you go, you're just gonna close your eyes
Yeah.
and do the work.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you this final question before
Okay.
we jump into career corner. If there's one mindset shift that's been crucial to your career, what is it?
Open to learning new things and adaptability. I would say throughout your life, you will be always learning new things as you progress in your life. So you should never think in such a way, oh, now I have completed my undergrad or master's degree. I don't have to study or learn new things anymore. At least I don't see myself in that way. Like I'm always out there learning new things. I love to, explore new things, to see what's going out there in the world.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's like for me, it's like the one of like the biggest mindset I have is like be flexible
Mm-hmm.
when there's opportunity. Try to grab it with both your hands
Yeah.
because not everybody gets that opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's like coming your way, just go for it.
Yeah.
Even if you're going in a new field, I know it can be scary,
Yeah.
you can be nervous, and it's okay to feel that. Like even like when I got the new job, it was something I've never done before, so I was nervous, but
Mm-hmm.
then I'm like, okay, we have done it so far,
Yeah.
we'll do it this time
Mm-hmm.
with just like, if you are like positive mindset,
Yeah.
then I feel like you can do anything.
Yeah. And if you're not scared or worried, you're human. You're gonna
Yeah,
feel those
yeah,
feelings
yeah,
at some point, and it's normal and it's
yeah,
okay to feel those.
yeah,
So
exactly.
yeah, I
Yeah.
agree
If you
100%.
have like a positive mindset, regardless, or if you have like any info or any prior knowledge of what you're going to work,
Mm-hmm.
if you have a positive mindset, you'll going to definitely crack it.
Yeah,
So yeah,
100%. I
yeah,
love that.
yeah,
That's awesome. Thank you so much.
of course.
I loved hearing your journey. And it's just like listening to your story just reassures me why I started this podcast is because there's so many people out there, whether they're still under undergrad
Yeah,
trying to figure out what to do or how to come to the US, or they're in their manufacturing job where they study something completely
yeah,
different but want to see what's next.
yeah,
And so your story, I'm sure is going to give people hope.
yeah,
Like, hey, if he could do it, I could do it. You just have to keep on going. Have the courage and just think highly of
yeah,
yourself and just learn and
yeah.
adapt these skills.
Yep.
And hearing your story is just I love it. And I'm
Thank
so
you.
excited to see how far you go
Thank you.
and where you'll be.
We'll always be in contact.
Of
Like I mean,
course.
yeah,
Of course, you're my friend. You're my
yeah,
friend in STEM, and he's your friend in STEM right now.
yeah.
So thank you so much.
No
Thank you for
problem.
giving me your
Of
time.
course.
And now we're going to jump into Career Corner. It's a segment where
Okay.
we get questions from the audience, whether it's a specific question or a scenario of what they're going through,
Okay.
and we'll just answer them and try to help them out. So let's jump into it.
Perfect.
The first question, or scenario, or whatever you want to call it. I live in India right now.
Okay.
I really don't know what I want to do with my life. I know I want to work in biotech. What's one advice you would give me as a fellow Indian?
I would say try to connect with people who are already in US.
Mm-hmm.
If he wants to come to US, like pursue his career further in like biotech in US, like try to connect with people, get their opinions,
Mm-hmm.
how they got there where they are.
Mm-hmm.
If you are like jumping into something which you have never done before,
Yeah.
try to do some research,
Yeah.
get as much information as you can, get a better understanding
Mm-hmm.
on how can you go about it, I
Mm-hmm.
would say. And then, and now like today's world, like everything, you can find everything on internet.
I agree.
Yeah, so like
Ask ChatGPT.
yeah, go on ChatGPT. Now it can basically do every single thing for
I
you.
agree.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
like yeah, just like go out there, like be open to like communication with different people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like just don't like stay back.
Yeah.
And yeah,
I agree. I agree with I have nothing to add. I agree with everything you said. The power of any field is networking.
yeah,
So
yeah,
d-
yeah,
reaching out. If you know anyone in your community who left, just like,
yeah, reach out.
yeah,
Yeah,
be like,
people.
hey,
Yeah,
how's it going? Can I hop on a call to learn more about your
yeah,
career? That's
yeah.
all it takes,
Yeah,
honestly.
if one person doesn't reply, reach out to another
Yeah,
person. Like
exactly.
definitely somebody will get back to you
Mm-hmm.
for sure.
I agree.
Yeah.
So this is more of like the cultural transition. What were the biggest challenges and surprises when you moved from India to the US for your studies?
For my studies,
Mm-hmm.
biggest challenges. I mean, when it came to studies, like since like I had done my undergrad in mechanical engineering, and then I was like doing in like same field of focus like for my master's degree. The more of like when I like moved from India to US, the major shock I had was like of culture shock,
Mm-hmm.
because in India, like people are involved in your like you know your neighbors, like
Yeah.
what's going
Uh-huh.
around. And after moving to US, it was more of like a culture shock. Like you are by yourself, you are, heavily focused on yourselves. You get to learn a lot about yourself
I agree.
when you are out of your like comfort zone, I would say.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
100%. It's just crazy of
Yeah.
how like you're so used to one thing and then you get
Yeah.
thrown in this world just for your career.
Yeah.
And then you have to learn everything from all
Yeah.
over, and but it's fun at the same
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. It
It's
is.
super fun.
Yeah. Fun, stressful,
All the
everything.
emotions.
Yeah. All the emotion coming into the play.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's life, I would say.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
life. I had so much fun talking to you.
Same here.
Thank you so much for giving me your time and for sharing your journey and just like going. I know it's not easy to talk about yourself, and I really, really appreciate it. And I thank you so much. And I hope you had fun like I did.
Yeah, no, it was really good catching up with you after such a long
I
time.
know.
And yeah, like I always like to have like a good conversation with you.
Yeah.
It's really fun.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much. Well, thank you, everyone. If you've stayed this long, thank you for watching. Thank you for sitting with me and my friend Vimal. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and leave some comments or scenarios for the Career Corner section. See you in the next episode.